It's 7-7 there from Los Angeles. As we adjust to a dramatic new way of life, how are our support services doing, and how are they doing things differently to keep those in need as well as possible? The Glen rehab facility at Chittaway has been calling in the big guns of league to help them. The Glen boys are staying motivated and mentally well. And one thing they did, which is just, you cannot give them enough plaudits. I think they all should be given OAMs or something. I don't know, whatever you can give people for community service, because maybe they could be Citizen of the Year. But during the floods, they just worked their bottoms off to help the people of Chittaway, who were doing it so tough with the Rimba Creek flooding and Tuggerah Lake flooding, and they were absolute angels in helping elderly people, helping people who'd lost everything. And those people are still recovering from that, and now they're also facing this double whammy of the coronavirus. So we'll find out how they're going there and how they're keeping things going at the Glen, a very important service here on the coast.
Morning, Scott. How are you?
That sounds good. You were just getting the reception tweaked. You're sounding coming through loud and clear now, Joe. Tell us how technology is helping you continue to provide the vital service to these wonderful men who've proven themselves to be such great citizens. I was saying, I don't know if you heard me, so many good reports from the Chittaway residents. Boy, they're good citizens.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, the Glen boys really take pride in, I suppose, trying to be part of the community, and a productive member of society. That's a big part of what we're trying to teach. And so, look, first of all, I want to start by saying a lot of people are doing it tough at the moment, and I think the Glen as a whole is probably one of the lucky ones. So we're, as a business, we're sort of still there running, still able to do what we're all passionate about and help people, and the clients are in a very safe environment. While we are losing a lot of our connections, because our program relies on that connection of people and community so much, it's one of our things we do really well. Look, we're lucky enough that we're just adapting and we're utilising technology. And I know yesterday we had a great session with a really good friend of the Glen's, in Mark Omeley, helped set it up, and he kicked the session off, and we were joined by New South Wales State Origin coach Brad Pitt, and we were talking all things mental health and physical health.
I love Mark Omeley. He's a really honest, hard-working man. He had trouble with literacy as a young man, and then he had a baby, and he said to me, it still makes me cry thinking about it. He said, I've got to learn to read so I can read to my child. And for a man to admit that, just a marvellous bloke. And now his son's a star front rower.
Yeah, no, he's got two kids. I know them well, so young Nick and Jake. So they're both good footballers, but even more importantly, they're both great young men.
But his dad wanted to improve himself so he could be a better dad, and that just, and that's a tenet of the Glen too, isn't it?
And it's 100%, and that's what the conversation was all about yesterday, so it was so good for all of us, I think, that were involved in it, including the footballers, or the ex-footballers, the clients, but even the staff. Like, we're all human beings, and it was just a good, honest conversation. And one of the big things that came out of it for me too was that I think it actually helped the Glen boys realise how lucky they are, because of how hard it is for, even these guys who everyone thinks will be going well, but it was some really good, honest conversation. It's hard for everyone at the moment. Like, everyone's affected, and everyone's just trying to do their best, and we need to keep trying to support each other, and utilising technology at the moment, I think, is a really important part of it. And then when all this passes, let's get back to, being out in the community and doing all the good face-to-face stuff, which I still think you can't replace.
So it worked well. This was a Skype conference with Brad Fittler and with Mark Omeley.
Yeah, so they Skyped in. They're on the big screen. All the boys sit back. I mean, we've got our social distancing happening, but we're sitting back. We can all see them on the screen. We've got a really good microphone set up as well that it can be interactive, so the guys could ask questions, and just some really good, honest conversations about how we all need to make sure we're looking after ourselves at these times. And look, we're going to be doing it every week, so Brad's committed to that, and
what a good bloke.
Happy to do it, and we're just going to, we actually got a bit of homework, so the Glen boys have got a bit of homework about what our standards are, and what we're going to do to make sure we keep living a good life, and we're going to draw up a set of standards, and Brad Fittler's going to run his eye over for him next Thursday for us.
Yeah, you hear about rugby league players doing the wrong thing, and I think those Canterbury players have really dealt a savage blow to rugby league. It's hard for schools now to trust the players, and yet they're not the majority. They're not indicative of people like Mark Omeley, who's always been a hard worker, a tough front rower who's earned his place in society, and they just bring them down, don't they? Some of these players who just don't get it. They don't get they've got a social obligation.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is disappointing. Like that, the Glen, we've had a long relationship with rugby league through the NRL, through the Roosters in particular, through the New South Wales Rugby League, and there's so many good people working in and around the game, and people that do understand how important that their role model responsibilities are, and they do them really well. They do them really well as a whole.
Good to hear that, Joe. I think that's a positive rugby league story that we can share. Good luck to you and all the crew. Keep safe, keep well, and we need you. You're such a vital part of our society. You're such a nimble workforce too, whether it's John O'Clean for sure or fixing up, helping the flood victims. You're always jumping in to lend a hand, and you've earned your right to say that you're proud citizens of the Central Coast. So keep well, and we'll keep talking.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Scotty, and good luck, everyone. We'll be right.